Now it's time to play a little with the new feature of Java. I'm excited to present this because, as Paul showed my expertise, I've been using Java since year 1999 or 2000. So these new changes are really interesting. There are many changes. I will try to cover as much as possible just to give you an idea. This is the GAP. I will explain what is GAP. But there is a huge list here, 91. Many of them is just housekeeping, just internal, but that's really good. And I will focus in the part that is most related to programming. And also we have Java 10, there are only like 12. And just to give you an idea how big it is, Java 11 will have just few of them. So Java 9 is a huge change. And I will be explaining about HTTP client, and Java 11 will make this available in the Javadoc package. And I will explain what is going on with the HTTP client too. So let's go to the presentation. Okay. So, as I mentioned, the biggest changes that we had before were Java 5 generics, and they changed the memory model. Java 7, the new garbage collector, and now in the default garbage collector, there is the G1, easy one. And they introduced the new I/O. Java 8 is lambda and string, and the static methods in the interfaces, and the default. And now with Java, a lot of people is just reading about module, but there are so many changes, interesting changes, that it's good to show them here and play around with many of those changes. Especially with one that is one of my favorite, that is the JSHELL. We're going to play a lot with that just to see all these collection changes or basically client changes. And many professors always complain that Java, you need an IDE, you need an IntelliJ, you need to pay a license, and they say we can use another item or something. Well, now we have the JSHELL that is the recall for this, and they can define their Fibonacci or whatever algorithm they want, and they don't need that big ID. So I show all these 91 UAP just to show you a definition, because sometimes we hear about that, we don't know. UAP is just JDK enhancement proposal, and DSR is Java specification request, just for give you an idea, because we hear about that and we have no idea what is that. So this is the definition. So I'm going to list very quickly, because I think we are short of time, so we'd like to see the example, the demos. I will show a demo with Spring Boot, with Java 10, and how I try to modularize a Spring Boot application, and the problem that I had. So I will try to list all the changes that there are here. JSHELL, that is one of my favorite. New version of string scheme. I will show you that with JSHELL. Now it's not Javadoc or Java 1.8. It's Java 9, Java 10, or Java 11. So if you are parsing your code, the versioning, you need to be careful because you're going to get an error. We have the multi-release jar file. I will show an example that is really good, because you have one jar file and you have inside your jar file code that will run and compile for Java 8, but inside you have a section that is for code that will run in Java 9 and Java 10. I'll have an example for that. The JLINK, this is one of my favorite. I will show one JLINK how you will reduce the size of JRE. Before you use Docker, we have to download the full, all the JRE that is 160 megabytes or something or more. Now we don't need that. I will show one example of that. Something interesting is the DAP 247. Java is supporting the source and the target of the last 3 versions. For example, if you are Java 9, they're only supporting compilation for 6, 7, and 8. Now with Java 10, they should be supporting the target of 7, 8, and Security, there are new changes, new algorithms. We won't go deeper with this, but it's good to know if one of you is doing security. We have new hash algorithms, JSHELL. We have new stuff there, really interesting. For deployment, they deprecated the Java plugin because I think nobody's using that a lot. Right now it's just Angular or React or new stuff. JavaFX is really good. So they are deprecating that. And they have a new Java application packaging. I will show that. Because Java is, Oracle is saying that JAR is not efficient. And they have a new JMOD that I will explain about that is much more efficient and will help us with the image of the application. They deprecated the Apple API too. We're going to play with this. There is a project coin, but they are modifying some enhancement. It's not a coin too, just small changes. And once there is someone that is good, that is a tribal resource, we will explain. I don't know if you have a chance to experience some error when you are accessing database and someone forgot to close the connection. Now you put in tribal resource and it will close automatically for you, so you don't forget that. But now we can, they improved that. They have something called effectively fine. I'll explain that. They have Diamond for anonymous classes, and they support private interface in private method interface. And so you don't have an excuse to have duplicate code now in interfaces. For me, it's like a second abstract, right? They have everything now, but it's awesome. Javadoc, one of my favorites. I will show you what is that. They have HTML5 and they have a search, and they have the module system. They have the graph showing how is the dependency between modules. The JVM, they have something called segmented code cache. We don't use that, but this is basically saying they improve this, and now the notification, if you're using thread and you do notify all, will be faster, so we have faster code. They improved the JVM with the unified logging, so it's more efficient now. They made the P1 garbage collector the default garbage collector, and they deprecated some option for running your JVM. So if you are running your JVM with special concurrent or CMS, be careful because some of them are deprecated, so try to move to G1. These are the good ones, the process API. I like that. I don't know if you have chance to try to get the PID of one process. It's a lot of code. Now it's just one line. Compat a string. There are many changes to a string, actually. Now a string, instead of being 2 bytes, it's just 1 byte. So imagine some people claim that it's 30% more saving in memory. Some people say 40. It depends on the benchmark. But now that we're using only 1 byte instead of 2 bytes for charts, of course we're going to have a saving in memory and in garbage collection. They enhance the replication too, so please move. Nashorn, if you use this, they have a good API. They move to ECMA script. New client technologies, new stuff for GFX. If you use GFX, they're really good. They modularize that, and they have new stuff for image. If you use TIFF for image, we use that in Mitchell. New internationalization. They have a new Unicode. So I understand they have more emoticons or TIFF, and they have a way to use Navajo in lowercase. Look like it's interesting, but they promote that. All right. Okay, JSHELL. Let me go here. So here I have just a Java version. I'm using 10. And we can say JSHELL console. And we have some cool stuff here. One is everything is forward slash if you need to do something. You have help. So you have all the definition help, and you have something that is tab. If you press tab, you get the new page in all the stuff that you need in your documentation or your method when you're putting your method. So this is really interesting, that you just click tab, press tab, and you will get all the information that you need. We have something here that is called list. I don't have anything right now. We have list all. And these are the imports. By default, this is the most useful import that we have, so we don't need to import anything here. So this is showing that. With here we can just do, I don't know, one simple calculation. With two, we will create this variable. Actually, you want to exit. I will exit because I want to import a module here. JSHELL. Let's see. Another JSHELL here. This JSHELL have more stuff I can show you later. But basically is I want to do this. I will use this. If you want to, -v is for variables, you will see the difference. You want to include some modules. For example, I was mentioning about the HTTP 2 clients. HTTP is faster than HTTP 1, and it's including the WebSocket and the asynchronous call. So I'm going to show an example that is really, really good on this. So now, this creates scratch variable, that's how it's called. And this number here, $1, is associated to the snippet. Let me show you what is this. Let me do one error. This O. And we're going to have the snippet 1 is creating the scratch variable 1. E1 is error, and this is the sentence for the input when it's S, the input that we have. So you see an E is error. You see the 1 is a snippet of scratch associated to the scratch variable 1. Let me go to the presentation. So we have new version scheme. Before, as I said before, it's Java 1.8, 1.7. Now it's 9.0.1. Actually, in 10, they revisit this, and they have another one that is a patch. They have another dot number that is for security. So this is what's revisited again. And they try to do 18 the year dot the month, and in this Java 10 revision, they say that we're gonna just do Java 9, Java 10, Java 11. So let's do this. We have the JSHELL. Let's see how this works. We do that, and we have all the options, really useful. The famous string line, and we have the runtime. Version. So he's saying the version, we don't need the semicolon at the end. So it's a kind of Scala or JSHELL for other environments. So you can have more stuff here. You can have the minor, major, or security. So it's up to you if you need it or what you use, but it's good to know that we have this option to see your more code. We have something interesting. We have big changes in collection. What have we changed? 12 and 11 in set and list and map. And they are really useful because, especially when we want to use immutable collection, I will show an example of how it is without these, and it's less code now. So for example, for just a simple map or a simple set, we just do map of. So if you notice something here, if you are lazy or you forget what is returning a type, you will see something that is not part of Java 9, but is part of Java 10 and using Java 10. This is a list. But what is the type here? I didn't put the demo, I didn't put anything. This is part of the Java 10. And I'm gonna show that in one jar, the multiple release jar, always we know that this won't compile in Java 9, but we run in Java 10. So you see, we can have immutable collections, the same for set. And now something that I want to show you here. Now we say bars. We have a set, but we said before it was a list. So I'm overriding these. And this is when you want to see what is there, and it's var. You want to know everything. Let's do history. But if you are just interested in the bars, you see that I overrode the variable and saying that it's a list. It's not really a list. It's a set. So we put it back because now it's correct. These are real lists. We have the same for map. So we have this kind of immutable map. You have map of the key, the value. So it's very convenient to do immutable stuff. So same for sets, for release. So let's see how it was before. I have one example here. Let's see what's in my notes. Just to show you the difference. Yes. So before, if you wanted to have an immutable, it's either variables, right? You have list, the type, you have the collection, you executing the collection, this method, the right list, that. Now it's just simple list of. And now we have the bar, so this will even shorter, right? So I showed you before. So we are getting good example here that we don't need to, we are coding less and more efficient. Same thing for map or for hassle. You see this is really verbose. And now it just set plus bar here. So we are getting a lot of syntactic super here. They're really cool. There is a new chain to completable future. I want to show you. I'm going to use it with the HTTP2. So we're going to execute an asynchronous call, and I will show you more what we can do with that. But they fix some issues with this completable future in Java 8. So they are fixing this, improving this completable future here. This is interesting. I don't know if someone saw this code before. I don't know who is doing that. But it was possible to define a name or a variable with the underscore. I don't know who did that. I didn't do those.
But now you can use two.
You can use two, so I have still let's try to do it. But this is really good. Let's try to do a name here. Oops. Yes, it's not possible now. So you have with this code running around there, just don't migrate unless you change it. Well, you can use two.
Try it with two.
Huh?
Just up your own, try it with two. There you go.
Compiling. All right, let's see the bars. So I'm there. All right. This is interesting. I mentioned before there is a new policy. So if you are running right now in Java 7 and we are in Java 10, based on this your application won't compile. So they have a 1 plus 3 back. So if we are in Java 10, basically for Java 9, they are not supporting Java 1.5 or 5 because this will be 6, 7, 8. Now you are in Java 10, so it will be 9, 8, 7. So be careful with this. It removes the thread.stop throwable. Oops. Oh, no.
Pick it up.
Why is it not trying? Yes, Charlie. Thank you. Well, it's a good presentation. So they removed these. It's not supported. You still have the thread.stop. They say that it's not safe. That's why they removed this. But they still have the stop without the parameter, the throwable. They have some explanation that I show in the presentation. They say that it could be an inconsistency and they have some security issues there. They removed that. They have deprecated this thread.stop too, but they didn't remove that. So just to know, if you are using this and you are trying to migrate, you know that you need to change that. Here we go. This is really interesting. I don't know if you have a chance to see one demo from Akamai, I think, and they show how fast is the HTTP2 compared with HTTP1, because it's using the HTTP protocol 1.1, and this is using the HTTP2, and it's faster. They use asynchronous and they use WebSockets. So it's really good, and in my case, I always use the HTTP client from Apache or from someone else, and now we have it in Java, or the REST client from Spring. Now this is using HTTP2, so we can have faster code. And you can go online and search for Akamai demo. It will show how fast it is for HTTP2. They have channels and they multiplex in one channel, so they can make many more calls and be asynchronous, and it's really good. I have an example here. So we're gonna use the JSHELL, and I'm gonna type everything because we don't have enough time. But basically, it's not in JavaNet HTTP. It's in, that will be in Java 11. It's in the incubator. But the code is the same. We have it here. Yes. You see, I just need to do the incubator. For Java 11 will be JavaNet. Well, actually, it was supposed to be for Java 10, but they postponed it. Hopefully, for Java 11 will be really what we need to do. I'm gonna need these two. That's impossible. It's important because I added the module. When I started the JSHELL, I just did add modules. So whatever you need, it's not the normal Java line or something specific. You need to include the module just one or more than one. That's why we are able to do this. The other one is the this guy. We're gonna create a method that's something cool in JSHELL. You don't need a class, you just need a method. So you see, it will indent, it's not closing, just this will try, and passing a parameter. So you can define method here without the class. So it's like a static methods. That's when something really cool if you want to prototype something quickly or to test something. So if we created this, and we're gonna pass, let me pass a variable to you. So I'm just printing the response to 200. It's called initial, but this is synchronous, so it's not asynchronous. You can do polls the same. You can pass the token. You have security, but this is the new HTTP client, and it's actually, if we see here, I'm printing the version, so we are using HTTP 2. So this is really good. I will be happy using this. I have an example now that I have this before moving. Yeah, because the next one is the process API. It's a good one. But I have another example that I have here. I think I have it in IntelliD. And this is using the asynchronous part. I don't know if we can see here. So again, I'm doing this, I'm just doing a get. But now we are using the new completable feature, and it's just returning a HTTP response string. At the beginning, I won't know, I'm not sure I have experience, so we can use var, unless they figure it out. But I did this way just to show what is the response, what is the type. And then we have cool stuff here, that is the callback. Is the HTTP response and the section, and this is not possible with the current HTTP client that we have around here. So this is really good. And then we can say, oh, if this is taking more than a certain time, which I say, okay, let's put this to sleep for 10 seconds. It's not connecting to in 10 seconds, and just will cancel this call. So this is really cool. Good methods that we are introducing here. Let me run it. Doing extra work. So what's doing extra work here? Done. So it did the 10 seconds. It's finished before 10 seconds. So it is doing this. It's just printing the response. That's the Mitchell web page. I want to show that. But what happened is I do this. I see. So this is really fast. It shouldn't, it is done, so this won't fail. But in case that this is, let me put that run URL. Let's see what is the error. I hope that this web page doesn't exist. We can reproduce an error here. I don't know if you have chance to use WebSocket. Some people complain that, not complain, they say that with these, we don't need WebSocket. So I don't know if that's true. I think they complement each other, but most of the time we will just be using the HTTP client, but we have the option to use WebSocket. We just do in the client a factory method. Client, we have a create builder. It's not here, but we have the option to do the WebSocket. So this is really cool. We can do a synchronous call now, finally. I think HTTP1 is since 1997. So now we are moving. It's a big change after 20 years. So hopefully I will be using this in Java 10, 11 and work. So now this is another big change. This horrible code here, don't see it? Only see a lot of weird lines. This is you want to get the ID. This code is horrible, just to get the PID. And you see down here. That's the PID. There is another option. You pass a parameter and you do fork and you split. And this is horrible. Now in Java 9, just this. Just this. So let's try to do this. We go to the JSHELL. So we have process handler. This is the current PID that we have. So just single line, it's a big change. I will be more than happy doing that. We have also an option to specify a callback that I will show you. What we can do is a process is alive. For example, we can say optional this code here, and we can pass the PID that I have, and it will tell you if this code is alive. It's a lot of code just to, without Java 9, it's a lot of code that we have to do to get this option. There is something else that I have, I prepared here. What is that? Here we go. And we run this guy. Here. It's not exited. But we can now program the callback. So let's see what we have here. We have the process, we have this now. On this side, close this guy. Finish. But we have callbacks with the process. So it's a big, big change with process in Java, and it's really good. It's one of my favorite changes. You have, I know you have experience doing process. It really was a nightmare doing this. We have also an option to retrieve information. Process handle.info. You can have a lot of information here. You can have the argument, is the process executing, when was the start time, the command line, the total CPU duration, and it really, Oracle did a really good job in this process API. So this is what I showed. Now the try with resource. I don't know if you have a chance to remember this error that I mentioned before at the beginning of the presentation. I saw that many times in previous work, previous job, in this one. This one we are programming correctly. But before, I saw many times that we have memory leaks because people forget to close the connection to HTTP connection or the connection to the database. And we used to do the finally, just the try catch and do finally and close or release the connections. Now we don't need to do that. As of Java 7, you can just do the try with resource. Just put the multiple resources here that we want to close and inverse order, and it will close for us automatically. So that's really good. No more memory leak. Java will do that for us. But now, if you see, we are defining the variable inside this parenthesis here. Now they change that, and they allow to have the definition outside the try with resort only if this variable is final or effectively final. What is that? Well, basically, you see we are defining outside. If you assign or change the variable that you have in the try with resort, it will fail. So you don't need to modify it. So that's what it's called. I can put final, or I can just, you don't see any final modifier here. But if I don't change file reader, it will run. It will work correctly because it's effectively final. So you have a variable that is not modified. That's effectively final. And you can do this now and try with resource. This is an interesting change. And some people say, what is the difference? What happened here? I don't see big advantage. What was a big change in Java internally? You can now do the dynamo operator that we use when we are defining variables. Now you have the option to do it in anonymous classes. So I have an example here. This was not possible before. This is based internally under the hood. Java is implementing the interface for us. But now it's possible. They did a lot of changes inside the JDK, and now this is possible. This is my favorite one. Private method in interfaces. So, simple code here, just to give you an idea. We have default, this is in Java 8 and static, where we have some boilerplate duplicate code. So just invoke the private method. That's the idea of the private method interface. So now we have static, default, like this one, the abstract method, and the private. And remember, we have also it's not part of Java 9, but it's just, if you see the functional interface, you can have all these methods, but you only have one abstract method that will run and compile because it's just one abstract method, it's a functional interface. But you can have one functional interface with one abstract method and 10 have default, private, or even the default Java object methods. So that's a functional interface. This is interesting. Let me go to the Javadoc API. You see something different? Please. We have. Before we have to see the frame because it was not HTML5. It was horrible to find something. Oh, where is that? And go back, or investigate. Now we have a search. And it's really cool, really nice. And the incubator. We can see here also the graph We have the graph, I will explain that for the modules. So this is a big change. It took many years. I don't know how to do this. 20 years, more. Actually, 1995 was when Java was out, right? Around that, and now finally we have this cool search here. We didn't have this. Help me a lot. They have some enhancement to streams. The stream as far as Java 8, but they did something. They add some stuff to the stream. They put an iterate, so we can iterate using this instead of the normal for loop. Let's try to do that. And you can pass a nullable like the optional. And it will return an optional of the stream. Let's try to do something. This is an infinite. But if we do this, drop y. E is minus 5. So it's a lambda here. So here, drop while is less than 5. Let me see my example what I did. But basically, here we go. So we have the string. Yes, there's something wrong with my. Or take while. Good catch. Oh, good. See what I'm going to do. Good that I made a mistake. So we can edit this. So we can change this to notepad, whatever you want, bin. So we don't need to type all this again. We can just do /edit and change this. So it is really helpful. This is, if you don't like, just do /set editor notepad or bin, whatever you want. But I will use this one. So it's page y. So this should create another variable. Let me see what happens. Yes. Let's see the bar. Let's see what's going on. It should create 16 instead of 17. 17. So create a new one. And this is with the error, infinite loop. And this is the one that is working. And you saw how to edit this, so you don't need to type again and I need to redo this again. Some people say they don't like the editor. That's okay. You can do it. You can do this. Set editor and the path to the, I don't know, beam or whatever you want. Just if you want to experiment later. There are changes to optional. We have a string. Optional is a good one, so we can avoid kind of design part. We can avoid null pointers, so we do on the optional and we do the get. And we can do that with us. We can return a string. Now, let's do that. Remember that I mentioned the scratch variable is associated to the snippet 18. Let's see if that's true. We don't see this. See the variable here. So you see the snippet 18 and the scratch variable at $18. So if you see this number, what is that number? It's just related to the snippet number. So we want to use that. Let's say $18. See how good is that you just press tab and you have all the methods available. Now create a stream of strings. So we can keep playing here for each, and you can keep playing here. Now, but this was introduced in Java 9. Optional, they didn't have this method. Enhanced deprecation. They changed the deprecation model. It was confusing. Now you see in the code something that says for removal, don't use it because that will be removed. I will show you one example. We have the JDEPs. We can, or JDEP scan. You can scan to see if something is for removal or not. But basically, let me see if I have an example here how to do JDEPs. Yep, that's something here. Now this is resolved. It's not there. So this is bad. You can see that it's deprecated, and it will help you to identify if you are trying to migrate your library. Just go to the jar and just run this guy, and you have JDEP too. That will help you out to see how these, what you need to change when you are migrating. Okay. And you see, I just run JDEP and it will tell you, oh, this is my module, this is using this is using base. I will show what is Javadoc base, like the object, but just for modules. But you have this tool now. So remember, now they have this option, they say things, this has been deprecated. There are many methods, just investigating it, there are many methods that are deprecated since Java 1.2, but it's still there. But now they are more serious here, and they will specify for removal true, they will remove it. This is, we'll go fast. This is just for people that is programming for x86 processor. We don't use this. There is a code that this is supposed to be making the thread faster and running specific architecture faster. That's good for us. We don't use it so much, but all the improvement is good for us. Update gets deprecated, it starts working. This is good. Before this, we didn't have anything how to, especially you are programming some libraries, how to see the stack trace. You can now use this library, and it's very useful and thread safe, and it will make the Java more efficient. You can walk to the stack frame and see what's going on inside. I don't use these because I'm not programming libraries, but it's good to know that we have this option. And something We're going to talk about this later on, about modules. So they created this because they want to block all these calls by third-party libraries to do reflection, all this stuff. But they are providing alternative to all these internal API that were not supposed to be used, but nobody cared and they use. Now that's why we have the modules. This is a good one. I mentioned before, I really like this. Some people say, oh, I will need to do something. No, we don't need to do anything. Just download Java 10, Java 9, and we have more efficient string. They realize that we have in Java the 2 bytes, but in reality, we don't use the 2 bytes. So now they have a pointer to the second byte if they need to use the second byte. So, and the other thing is, yeah, that this will make the people. I saw some benchmarks. Some people say 40% more efficient, 30%. I don't know. Depending how big or how much you abuse of the strings, because people sometimes abuse. But this is a big chain, and we don't need to do anything. It's for free. Compare streams. Yes. You can disable with this option in the JVM. I don't know why. I will use it. So it doesn't affect string builder. External API, we don't need to do anything, just use for a string, and we are using a string builder, a string buffer. The string buffer, we have concurrency. This one is good too. This only works with G1. So they are saying basically that sometimes they need to share object in this CDS or class data sharing. There are some changes in Java 10 too with this. But this only works if you use the G1 garbage collector. So this is another improvement to the Java string. It will make your application faster, less object, less garbage collection, much better. This is you need to use images. I don't use this, but it's good to mention. This one is a good one. I have one example. Usually when we have, for example, Java 8, and we want to do Java 9, probably we're going to create a new branch. With the Java 9, and we have a separate stuff, and we have now we don't need to do this. Java created a multi-release jar file, and it's basically, in the manifest, we're going to have multi-release true, and we're going to have the code, the normal Java code here, but now we're going to have the part that belongs to Java 9, Java 10 here. I have one example. I will show you here. So the steps here, I'm running with Java 9, this guy. And this is not here. I'm running with Java 8 and saying Java 8. I will show the code, it's not hard code. For Java 9. Oops. Java 9. So you see something different? Now the normal Java. Java 10. So what happened? So first we will explain what I do. I think it's here. Multi-jar. So this is a copy of the jar. So you see, as I say, the normal stuff for Java 8. Have two classes. This class called is util, just for the purpose of the example. And here we have manifest and say multi-release true. And we have the version. So what I need to change, that's my utils. So I have the same class, but compiling Java 9, and the other version compiling Java 10. So that's what is called multi-release, and really useful because you don't need, you just pack everything in the same jar. It's the application is running. If you have money that you deploy and you didn't know that it was running in Java A, oh, it will fail. But now, oh, it will switch to the Java 8 version, you will have your application running. What I did. So basically, I just compile what I need to run in different Java version and put it in one output separate. It's a separate folder. And then in the jar, you can do this in IntelliJ, but just I want to do this to see how it is. With use IDE, we don't know what is going on, so I want to just show what is happening. We are naming the jar and we are saying, hey, I have my Java 8 version here. My release, I'm saying this is the release 9, so Java, the jar is prepared for this. And we'll put the Java 9 version here. And we have the Java 10 version, or my Java 10 version release is here. And hopefully in September we're going to have 11, so no excuse to have multiple branches, different jars. It's just compile, separate with the specific stuff that you want for your Java version and keep it in the same jar. But this is really cool. This is the interesting part. Really, really interesting part. It's a huge change. Java 9 was postponed, I don't know, more than 1 year because modules, they are trying to make Java secure, modularized, because Java is so huge and you want to deploy in IoT or some devices. They try to make some stuff more efficient. They say that jar is not supposed to be an efficient way of running or carrying this stuff, and they create a JMOD that is faster than jars. So, and they create a JLINK, and I will show you an example, quick example of how to do that. And we can just create a small version of Java runtime. So you don't depend on installing a Java runtime, just create a small runtime. For Hello World, they are saying, oh, we need to have Corva, we need to have all this huge stuff. There are T, many stuff that we don't need. So just make it modularized and scale down. And I will show you that. So why need that? Well, they tried to do something with Compact, didn't work in Java 8. RT is so big, they removed this, no more RT, and no more, I think, tools too. Strong encapsulation, now we have that. Before it's just reflection, you see all your private stuff, or now it's really trying to remove the access to the internal. I mentioned before, there is something with base 64 in code, and now they are trying to remove this access to the internal, so it's more secure Java, and it's too big. So if you are using something of this, be aware that you need to find like a stack walker. Instead of using the getColor class, use the stack walker API, and you avoid this, because you're going to get in trouble. All these one are still available, but these one are not exported to the other one are not exported to the public. Now the GRE, no more endorse, extend, no more RT, just conf and leave. So this is another big change here. And I say now they have JImage, JMODs, and it's supposed to be more efficient. What is observable modules, readable module, reliable configuration? Well, they say that with these modules, you won't have the JSHELL and the no such method found when you are in production. Oh, this is running my computer was. Why is not happening? And it's compiling and running. When we go to production, for some reason we have the wrong version of the class, or we have no method at all. They are promising that now we will catch this at the startup when they are starting the application. So no more the class that's found in, or what? Or that's what they promise. The strong encapsulation. Now private is private. I will explain how to make it flexible, that export it to reflection or export it to another stuff. This is a graph, it's a cyclic, no cyclic, and if you have a package in one module that have the same name as another package, you have something called a split, and you need to exclude one of the two modules. It's not possible to have two modules with the same package name. I found this error doing some examples. So for module, what we need? We need the module-info.java, and this is intentional. You don't see a class like this. That's why they put the dash there. This is reserved for that. We have the modular Java that I showed before, and the JMOD that is more efficient. And when you compile, it's just the module descriptor. So what is a module? Well, you contain packages. It's like IntelliJ modules. But now it's just Java module because you have this definition of the modules. So you define require export. I will explain what is this. But basically you have a package name, and I will show you this. And inside you have your module-info.java, and the Java JDK will know, oh, this is a module. We'll try to interpret this required export, and I will explain what this means. This is interesting. If you have if you export something, that's something that I found, you export packages. So basically it's, when you see require is, what other module do I require? If I do require a module. If I export a package. So if you export a package and you have another subfolder in the package, that won't be available. So you have to be careful. And we specify my module A needs module B, so we say require module B. But module B need to have public and need to say export B to A or export B. This is a Java object for modules. This is required automatically. We don't need to do anything. This is the most common stuff, JavaLang, Java annotation, module. So you don't need to put explicitly required. It's automatically. When you define module without anything, Java is including this. And I said before we need Corba, JDBC, we don't need that. This is the base. So we don't have Corba, we don't have just P, we don't have anything on this. So it will be smaller. Key type of modules. When we specify module, it's an application module, automatic module, because there are many libraries. It was one of the big contention in the ACP. Many IBM, all these were not ready, and Java have the automatic module, so all these Java will be loaded as automatic modules. So Java class part is not gone, so we have this optional. So it will be, you have module, you can, all these Java that are not modularized will be included in the automatic module. This is interesting. We show an example. This is a best practice. Maybe you don't understand this. I will show you an example. Module name. They suggest reverse DNA. So we are Mitchell.com, so we put com.mitchell.service, .database, .video. It's up to you. It's not mandatory, but it's a recommendation. And then inside the module, we have the same package structure, com.mitchell, so it could be confusing. So this is the module name. And the package, is I name this module inside, it's just the directory name. And this is my structure, com/Mitchell for that service. I will show that.
On the previous slide, did you say that all unnamed modules are available?
Yes. What this means is, so you need to understand. Yeah, when you have modules, you specifically say export.
Right.
So that will say that if someone wants to use me, we'll need to do require my module that export. When we have this name, we don't need it. It's open to everybody. This is just because, see, it's similar to automatic modules, but this is open for everything. So we can do reflection, we can do everything. That's an option that they keep this option because not everybody is migrating, not everybody will use modules. I will show an example of Spring Boot. I'm using Java 10, but no modules. And I will show an example with Spring Boot with modules. So these are the 4 types. See, it's export all packages and build all other modules. It's like normal Java class, but you have access to everything. Someone can do reflection on me, and that's it basically. So here I have one module. I say I require B and export XB, but if I have X.C, nobody will see that. Someone that requires A will see only X.Y, and only the module C is another one. I'm saying export to anyone that requires it. So anyone that wants to use module A will have access to D. But I'm saying export this module to this other module, and only this module will have access to this package. So export is for packages, and require is for modules, something to remember. This is one example of this is my example actually. I try to modularize my Spring Boot application, so I have to require Spring Bean, Hibernate, and something is the Java modularized. Java is replacing the dash, I don't know, Hibernate.-JPA 1.1, they will modularize that to Hibernate.JPA, so replacing the dash per dot. That's something that I found modularizing my stuff. Sorry, and here we have opens. So this folder is open to every, like the own name, is open for everybody, so the Spring can do reflection here in this folder. And this is exporting this to my other module only, the controller. So opens to, open to another modules for reflection at runtime, and open module is open the full package at their own name. So you can put open module, your module name, and whatever require you have, it will open everything. Or you can just specify opens as a specific package to a specific module that you want to export, allow this reflection. So this is for reflection. Yes, so I say before, open for reflection to a Spring Boot configured. So only Spring Boot can do reflection on this. Or I can put open in the class. So as I mentioned before, all sub-packages remain concealed. So you have to explicitly do export the sub-packages. And this is cool because maybe you have your interface and your main class where you want to hide the implementation detail. And that's really cool. Require static. I think I use this with JUnit. This is only when you want this at compile time, but not at runtime. Use directly. This is interesting. I use the Spring and I use the inversion of control and injecting stuff. You can do this with modules too. So this is basically your customer, your code is using some interface. You need to specify, we provide the interface and with the implementation, what is the implementation for the interface that you use in one code. So basically it's what services do I use from other modules. So main application use interface person, and the person that is, or the animal. And the animal, there is an implementation for lion or something, but we say provide animal with lion. We have another provide another module that say, or another package that say provide the interface animal with, I don't know, dog or cat. And the caller will use the interface. I have an example here. So this is my module using com.beacher or com. Whatever company or whatever module name you choose. And I use this interface. And I have multiple implementation. So I do provide the interface that I require is module.interface, supposing that it's a separate module. It could be the same module, doesn't matter. And this is the class that is implementing this interface. Now, how I use that? Where in your caller, you have something that is since Java 6. You have service loaded load the interface, and it will know all the implementer of this and will instantiate the class. So you can have this dynamic stuff and you don't change the client. And usually you use just Spring to inject the stuff, but you can do this with service load. And just the interface that you define, that you use that interface in this module. So this class that have this will have in the module.info use iService interface. And we'll use the interface. Java will instantiate all the implementation from this class. And you have to use whatever you want to use or execute the method. Transitive directive. This is basically any module that with a service provider doesn't need to read, for example, Java SML. If I have a method that return an XML or one object that is in another module, when I read service provider, it will read this Java XML that is required transitive. I don't need to say required Javadoc XML because I say here, oh, whoever used this module gonna read this too. So it's called implied readability. So if you have many modules, you don't have to duplicate requires in all the modules. You just the module put the read and just put the required transitive, and just your module that use this service provider, whatever module, will do it automatically by doing just a normal require. Now we have, with all these changes, we have a strong encapsulation, so reflection lost their power. Reflection is like being cut. I remember we have on our presentation, one guy say how he did, and he removed the reflection. He was showing one example. So if we need reflection, we need to do opens, or open in the module. Because not everybody will be migrating or not ready yet. So we can just, okay, bypass that. But the idea that we have a strong encapsulation does mean that I export, I don't see the other sub-packages. Only what I want should be public and should be export. So I will be able to see that. And now with this change, we are supposed to avoid this no such cloud test error, not error. Just when we start, we see the error immediately. This is a good one. I will show this JLINK. With this, we need to create first a JMOD. With the JMOD, we run JLINK, and we have just a simplified Java runtime with the module that is specified. This is an example. I have one example here. I will show you that. So here I will show what I did before going to the examples. Just create a simple module. You see source, and it's interesting because I have IntelliJ here, and the module are different. But it doesn't matter. As long as you have the module-info.java, that's okay. But this is the recommendation given per Oracle. So this is, and it's confusing because this is my module name, but it's like a package. And inside the module name, that is the full name, I put down the module.info. I create my -p is creating this stuff, and -p is creating all the sub-packages in Linux. So it's creating this in just one command. And I just modify this, and this is just hello world module. Then after we compile, we create the mod. I just create a folder and call it this way, and just Java-E is my folder I created. I say, this is my module. And this is the info, and this is the class. Of course, in production will be more than that, and we can use IntelliJ, or we can use other stuff. But just to know what's going on. We need a mods. I create it. I compile. This will run. So we say Java module path mods, and it's running. But it's not yet ready for JLINK. It's just for running. So what we need to do is just create a JMOD. So you say JMOD, it's a new application that Java introduced. We create your JMOD. So I'm compiling my module, and I'm saying, store here my .jetmod. Now we are ready to do JLINK. And when I say, okay, let's see if this is 160 megabyte, no, it's 37. So it's short. And you have compress. So I did the compress, it says dash string debug, dash compress 2, and this was only 23 megabytes. And how I run it? You see I have my own Java ERE with the module that I require. No more core one, no more JSP, whatever I need. And it's a smaller, it's really good for small devices, IoT or Docker. Actually, I have a Docker now, is Java 10 is Docker aware, and I'm saying that. I will show you why. So this is how you run it. Let me go to the example here. Presentation. My module is what I said before. See, I have my mods to show. We have everything, the module compiled here. I have my JMOD. This is a new format. What is this? It's a more efficient format. It's binary. And you see here, I say output. Output is the folder where I will put my image using the JMOD. So I put here Java JMOD because we use the Java base, so it could be, I don't know, HTTP client, or it could be JSP, whatever you want. And my JMOD, I just created a JMOD in the language for. See, just create a JMOD. So that's where my module is. That's a new format. And I did compress. Compress is a line. Is 22.4 megabytes. It's really small. It's really good for Docker or for IoT. So we have a faster format, faster than Java, and we have a smaller scaling down. So it will really promising for Java 9 and 10. So I have another. Yeah, there are more changes. I have something interesting to show here. What I did, just create a simple database in MySQL. So it's Marcano. Create a REST API. This is very common that we do that. This is a normal Spring Boot. You have the controller. We have DTO, this repository, SUS service. Went to Spring IO initializer. Just went to the normal Spring initializer and download the project, nothing else. When I tried to start this, I got this error. Class not found a section. Oh, this will be a nightmare. But honestly, I didn't do anything else. This is a known issue. We just go to the POM. And we find this, voila. We are running Java 10. Java 10, very easy, very fast, using all the bar, all the benefits of Java 10 and Java 9, the new string with 1 byte, everything faster. And I have a Cosmo here. There's a one to do. Cosmo, that request. It doesn't exist. Running my Java 10 with the Spring Boot. So it's possible to migrate those. Want to migrate? Very easy, very fast. Now, this is not modularized. This is where the fun starts. I try to I was able to, but there were more challenges. I created a module, and here is the first Java 10 module. Yes, I see this one. I'm gonna stop my demo. Remember, this is Java 10. What I changed also, I forgot. I changed this. I think it's saying Java 0.9, Java 0.8. I changed and put 10. Remember, it's not 1.810, it's 10. And I changed this in the POM, same in the new version. So it's running Maven, doing the Maven plugin, and it's running, and then add this, just the API, and then we have Spring Boot, Java 10, running fine, perfect, fast, everything. Now about modules. And here is where the nightmare started. I think it's stuck. Yes, stuck. So it's I call the postman. Shouldn't get anything. Yeah, I'm no line, no hardcode. Okay. This is more interesting. See, remember I said the format is source, module name, plus the module info? You to do IntelliJ, you have something called modules. New module, create your modules. I created this, my controller, I created this, my service. And inside, you have the Maven format here. Java, and here I put the module. So, did you see? I don't have the source with the reverse DNS format, so it's not mandatory, it's a recommendation. But I don't have this, but Java will know, oh, I have module-info, so I will use the module path, not the class path. So here what I did more changes. One is, I have POMs. I have a POM that have the same JavaScript. I connect it to my SQL. It's so very simple. Use Mongo. I just put the connector to Mongo or the Mongo dependency. The unit, all the normal stuff that are coming with the Spring. Let's put the version. I put the star class in the controller is that all this stuff. And then inside I have a module. See, this is very different. This is my POM, and this is, the package is different. This POM, so it's like the parent POM, or the root. And say packaging is POM, and I'm using these modules. And it's just Java IntelliJ modules, and I have inside, everything is just a POM, and I have a parent. The parent is my root parent. Yes, this guy, that is this guy here. And this is my artifact ID. And this guy is depending in the service. This is the controller, and it's depending on our module. No Java. This service will have the access to database, will have all the stuff that we use. Same thing, the parent is the POM that we have here. And we put the dependency, this artifact ID. And what happened here? Again, different format, don't worry. You have module info, it's fine. And something cool here with the IntelliJ is we have a diagram. We will show you your cyclic graph, so there is no cycles, and all your dependencies. It's really cool for documentation, and you know what you need. So one of the strongest stuff of this is that we don't have the jar held, they have 100 jar, and we don't know what is depending on each other, and here we need to know. We have the help that will tell us, oh, you're using this, this, and this. And this is deprecated, so we need to be careful to remove it for Java 11, I think. And here is the fun. Here is the fun, and I have it here, or what I did. Because Spring use reflection, I needed to open all my folder for reflection. So I open the configuration, the model, the repository, the service. Otherwise, Spring won't instantiate that. And another thing is, if you go for my other project, with Spring Boot, when we have a Spring Boot, internally we have configuration, we allow to configure everything. Here we don't have that benefit because we have separate modules. So what I did is this configuration. I need to, like before Spring Boot, we were doing this. I need to specify what is my configuration. I need to specify what is my model because we don't have a Spring Boot here. I don't have a Spring Boot here. The Spring Boot will read and will auto configure all the subfolder. Well, I don't have a Spring Boot here. How will do this? So I need a configuration and do it the old way. Now the Spring Boot is here. And still I need to do some funny changes. I still did the export and open for, this is my package to show my demo and my REST API. In order to do the reflection, the Spring will need to do that, all my requirements. And I will show you all the changes that I did. I have it here. I will show you this. And then, look at this. The Spring Boot will configure controller. But we need to scan the other module. So we are losing the benefit of having a Spring Boot and have all the subfolders to configure. So I need to manually say, you know what, I need to scan my mutual service, everything. But when I do this, I don't have the configuration for subcontroller. I need to do it here. That's why I'm another change. I import the subconfig, that is the configuration that I have in the other module. So it looks like it's modularized, but I'm losing some stuff here. The benefit of Spring Boot. What I did, when I would show my error, and I said, view here, so, as you can read there, okay, these were all the errors I have. Java persistent, same. You know what? This Java persistent is declaring module hibernate.jpa. So IntelliJ will help you to import automatically that. Really easy to migrate. Just right click. Right click. I will put the required in my module.info. So what's really good? What's really easy, it's easier using IntelliJ. Oh, I need a repository using Spring Data Common. That's how I have this huge stuff. Because Spring Boot, IntelliJ was telling me what to do. But I have to, you see, just one chain with the Spring Boot Java 10 ClassPath mode to all these changes. You have a lot of time consuming. Oh, when you learn it, you know what to do now. Say again, Spring Boot, I need the Spring Data Common directly to module. I need Spring Boot to configure. It was guiding me. Entity scan, module.info, configure. So he did all these changes. Spring Data APA. So instead of manually couldn't require or whatever IntelliJ is doing, you just click here and it will do it for me. Oh, same thing. Same thing. Check services, export, info. Oh my God, too many changes. Declaring module, all these changes. So I think I would prefer just for now until we have a more mature environment or consistent with modules. I really like modules. It's really good. and offer you a better security and a lot of stuff, but we use, in my case, we use a lot of Spring. Going to modules, you need to change the structure of your project, you need to have multiple forms, and at the end you are open. So you are losing the strong encapsulation. So amazing for me. But at least I was able to modularize this Spring Boot application. I didn't find many examples online. And the examples they were without the units. And for me, without the units, not production ready. But at least it's modularized. Right? So it's running. We have some wiring, yet it's not totally modular. Oh, one thing is they migrated for Java 10, they removed the Tomcat pool. They are using Hurricane. I think it's here. They found that it's more efficient, the Hickory pool than the Tomcat pool. We use Tomcat pool, so we need to migrate to this guy. They found, Oracle say, we found that it's more efficient, much better than they are. Spring Boot 2 is using this now. And we use the Tomcat pool in Spring Boot 1.5. But now if we want to use Java 9, we need to use Spring Boot 2.1, 2.0.1. We want to use Java 10, it's a Spring Boot, no sorry, Spring Boot 2 is Java 9, Spring Boot 2.0.1 is Java 10. I think they're going to support Java 11 in Spring Boot 1. So just to consider that. And they are changing this. It's really interesting and good. I was using Tomcat pool, but they are saying no, we are using this per default. It's much better, more efficient. So if you are using Tomcat pool, try to use this one now. So it started. This is so fine. We have one animal. Better animal now. Java 10. See, Java is here. So Java is better than Tiger. Up here, very nice. Let's see that. What is the ID? 6. So I'm using a Spring Boot modularized, storing in the database MySQL, all the normal repositories, all the normal stuff that we do. I think it's Spring 8 we do normally, but this is modularized Java 10. I would prefer, I said before, Spring Boot 2 with Java 10 without modularized yet, but it's possible. It's possible, and this is an example I show. If you are planning to do that, you see how I did it. You can improve it. I don't know if I can share this and share this in my repository so you can see that. And that's basically the modules part. There are more changes. Can you see all stuff? This is Java 10. So that's basically, but there are more changes that I want to go. They have a micro benchmark. They have changes to garbage collector by default. But Java 9, G1 is not parallel. So in Java 10, they improved the G1, and now it's supporting the worst case, that is the G1 parallel, when there are some cases that they need to do garbage collection in parallel. They remove this option, so remember, if you move, probably you are using some concurrent option or this option in your JVM, it will fail or will give you warning. The perm gem was removed, I think in Java 7, 10, Java 7, 8, I don't remember, but the options were available. You just giving you warning when it's running. Now we're removed. So now we have the meta space, so we don't need We don't need this parent max parent size. They were just deprecated or even warning, but now it's removed from Java 9. Without output. Sorry. They removed the JavaDB. I think because I have my SQL. They removed this. They are rebranding, but it's not including the JDK distribution. They removed JHAT. They removed other stuff, JVM, JMX. They dropped the 32-bit JVM, and that's all for Java 9. We have a few minutes for Java 10.
Just a few.
Just a few. But for Java 10, it's not big change for us. Java 10 is only Java 10 is only 12 changes. So after 91 changes in Java 9, just Java 10 that it is available as of March 21, I think.
Mhm.
And Java 11 will be in October.
Yep.
So it's now every 6 months. It's a hurry. Java 10. Again, these are only the changes. I show you the local variable type inference with the bar, really cool. The rest of the changes are internal. They change the forest in the repository. They have a new local try handshake, so I will show you what is exactly that. They have something called save point. I was thinking that full garbage collector is stopping all the work, but it's not. It's more, there are other cases to it. And I will show you what is a save point. As I say, we have a parallel full garbage collector, so G1 is complete now. They change the interface, so if you are doing garbage collector, you don't need to change all the garbage collector to include your new garbage collector implementation. That's the idea of this EAP 304. So. They have only one consolidated key forest. There was jar at the bar. I'll show you some examples. And it's really cool. Actually, it's really cool. Actually, I didn't show you. I said I will do it. I didn't show you. Presentation. Where's the jar? This guy. I'm using bar, so when I run with Java 10, I don't need to specify the type. So it's proof that I'm using Java 10. So I show some example with a JSHELL. So instead of doing a string, you just do bar, and you will infer the type. This is possible, of course. But this is a good chain for me. You use, I think, Kotlin or Scala, you have bar and bar. Now we have bar in Java, hopefully bar too soon. That's this example that I show. But this is only available for methods. You cannot put bar in the instant variable. This is only available in local methods, and it's available in the for loops. It's not available in the parameters, or in the constructor, or in the return types, or in the catch. It's only for local variables. It's only for and for loop and the traditional loop. If you are trying to do bar with the instant variable, no, it's not, won't work. They have the way that they maintain their code. They are removing all these repositories and create just one. They say that it's easier to maintain the JDK base in one repository instead of maintaining JDK and hotspot, so they change hotspot, and it now also to chain the JDK, so it's prone to errors. So they are combining all these repositories in one. Garbage collection interface, as I say, they better modularize. You can now do your own garbage collection. You can do it. So the idea is that someone will improve or better modularize this and implement their own stuff without changing the current full code now that is doing the garbage collection stuff. Try to make it easier to maintain and implement the garbage collection. Parallel for DC, this is a worst case, I said before, Java 8. It's designed that it's just single-threaded. But there are some cases or worst scenarios that always happen that won't be efficient, it's just single-threaded. So they included the parallel part for the G1. So improve the G1 worst case. Data sharing is since Java 5. Now it's possible to use this with application class level. Before it was only bootstraps. For local handshake, now it's introducing a way. What is this? The way is a callback when the VM is performing a save point. So it looks like the Java VM is saying, oh, I have a save point. All the threads need to stop in a save point, and then garbage collector will do that. So before, they have to stop everything. Now they just need to stop one thread, and they don't need to stop all the work. When they are doing, they need to do something that doesn't need a save point. But what is a save point? They stop the work pause mechanism. There are many save points in Java in the Java VM. So basically, the VM say, oh, I have a save point where the thread need to go. So now we have the option. Before this, they have to do this all the time. Now they have the option to stop one thread. So they will improve the performance because not all the time the VM will need to do a save point. Here, when save point I use, I was thinking that's only garbage collection, but no, it's flushing code cache, host body station, bias log revocation, debugs, so they can debug without stopping the work. It will improve the performance of Java, just doing the normal the thread local handshake. So it's a good change. We don't use it, we don't do anything, but we enjoy it. They remove the Java. They have again, they included this extension to the Unicode. There are more stuff for Unicode. So you can see this. They did these symbols. An example for this. So you need to use it. This is interesting. You can specify where to put the memory. Well, enable hotspot VM to allocate Java heap, object heap on an alternative memory device. So that's cool. You can specify, I want to put in, I don't know, this extra memory on USB, I'm not sure. But it looks like you can provide an alternative to do that. Just specify the path to where the memory will be stored. So this is interesting. You pass allocate heap at this path. I know to put the hard drive or something, but you have this option in the JVM. This option will continue to work, max memory, main memory, but you have now the option to say, I want to store the heap in this path. This is a chain. There is something in the file, Java 9. This other one, Java 10, is experimental, but it will provide an ahead of time compilation. So right now it's experimental. So you have, for example, in Jenkins, you compile and just supply a more chain. You don't need to recompile everything. We'll compile only the class that was modified. So this is really good, but it's experimental, yes. More changes to root certificate. We are trying to open source the root certificates to the open JDK, the open JDKs. So this is a good change.18, they revisit the 2.2.3 and say no to 11.3 or 18.9. No, it's just Java 10, Java 9. So we are good. So the same, the 4 dates, Java 10.0.1, when the patch is needed. This is good one. Now Java 10 is kind of Docker aware. Before, we need to pass a parameter in the VM where we're starting, but now you have the option, you have the option to notify that we want to use certain number of threads, certain number of CPUs, certain number of memory or part of the memory. So basically it's like Java is adapting to the Docker world now. So Java will recognize those. See, you have more options, you can see the heap available in the RAM. So this is a good change for us that we use a lot of Docker. They did this small change for the optional, but other than that, I showed you these unmodifiable, okay, to set, release. I showed you that. So I show how to just use this copy of, map copy of, and we don't need to do the full code to create an unmodifiable set or this. And that's it. Or as much as possible, or more interesting. Or you want to add anything? I don't know if you have one question.
Yeah, thank you very much.